All right. Hello, everybody. This is Ray Money, and this is a new podcast episode where I'm going to call it How Honest Are You About Yourself? I feel like that introduction could be a little better. But this is episode 4 in the Ray Money and Company Daily Discussions. I'm sorry for the brief hiatus. I just didn't have anything to inspire me. But I realized, why not go off from something I recently did, which off a medium blog that I did, where I evaluate the things about myself that I don't like. And I'm doing this on stereo as well, where the audience, if they actually care to listen, they can actually see on this panel that I have a link that they can go and look at the blog. So, what the blog is me assessing the things I'm insecure about and hopefully inspiring others in doing so to start the process of being the best person they can be. Because what I've noticed as I get older, being a 26-year-old male, that a lot of people, they like to complain, but they don't like to actually fix the solution. I mean, fix the problems. They don't want solutions. They just want to keep complaining until honestly you start alienating people away from you. So, the beginning of this article, I want to talk to you about the things that make me insecure. I wrote them in a list format, and I hope that me doing this will help somebody. I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis. I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis of my blog. The first point I attack is my appearance. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, whatever pronoun you want to be called, this is this is coming from the rip. Me being 5'7", over 170 pounds, I don't like that. At my heaviest, I was 185, and that's because I want to bulk up and be as big as possible because I got tired of always being skinny from middle school to even college. And after COVID hit in March 2020, when I came back from college, I gained. I actually was under 85 pounds, but it was actually nothing but fat from my usual 150-pound peak weight when I used to play basketball all the time. And I made it a mission to lose that weight and then try to add some muscle. More, I added about a good 10, 15 pounds of muscle, and now I don't like the fact that I'm still too heavy for whenever I was trying to get back to soccer because I used to play soccer in middle school, and I want to get back into it. And in my opinion, it's great to have a lot of to be able to do anaerobic exercise and make sure your cardiovascular is healthy. Meaning, I want to be muscular with the ability to do a lot of cardio. And I just had to get over the fact that even though I'm African American, I just don't look intimidating. And it frustrates me because usually a lot of times people just look at me as a nice black guy and I get annoyed, but it is what it is. So I should only be trying to look a certain body type for myself and that matches the type of physical fitness I want to achieve. And just as another little side note about my insecurity is that I don't have a genetic advantage in where I can just have six pack abs. And there's people that I know that do, and they don't deserve it. They eat like trash. I have a friend that if he's listening to a podcast, or really multiple friends and acquaintances, they will admit to that. They don't deserve it. They will really admit to it. But hey, it is life. And then another thing, or it's just another thing, another factor of my appearance I hate is my complexion. I know hate's a strong word, but I'm the lightest in my family, and regardless of what my parents are telling me to comfort me, I can't even say the word right. Sorry, to comfort me. It is really annoying because most of the time, people that knew me in school, they thought I was biracial, and that caused a lot of generalizations we made of me when first meeting me or actually being my friend. Off the jump, when I see someone's first and last name and their facial features, me being well educated, I would like to say, on the backgrounds of people's phenotypes, I think I do a really good job of gauging their ethnic background. But for others, and I can't blame them because I do look, I'm a mulatto. That term is outdated. whatever. But it's just frustrating because I have two full-blooded African parents that are straight from there, and yet I turn out such as this, and I have all these skin issues. My skin was really bad. It was just really frustrating because, damn, why in the hell am I going through so much acne? And the fact that I have to take all these antibiotics, not only just antibiotic gels and ointments, I'll take antibiotic capsules. And by the way, guys, capsules, those like amoxicillin, all those antibiotic capsules, if you don't eat them with food or you don't eat them with a full stomach, it sucks. I was a lot of times in high school and college, I was dry heaving. So when people saw me in a bad mood, I was actually pretty fucked up on those drugs. And as I said, a lot of people like to complain without actually finding a solution. So what I decided to do the past year was make a membership with Massage Envy and actually get facials. And I just recently got a wax done too, a full body wax. Because it wouldn't just affect my face, even getting haircuts and just doing anything, like just trimming my chest and anything, my body just, you know, would just have ingrown hairs. Because having curly hair is like, I don't, it's not 4C type of hair or something, but my hair type just is it's so curly that it causes it to, when it's cut to the lowest level, it grows, it doesn't grow straight up. It, since it's curly, it just goes in a weird loop. And it's really frustrating because I had to get injections, steroid injections in the back of my head over the past over 2 years just for the back because I got bumps. And those bumps, I'm telling you guys, you don't want them. And there's an actual name on of that. They, whew, I think it's acne chilodiosis, acne keloidelis. I can't even say the name right. I think there's a different name the dermatologist that you diagnosed me with, but it's something to that effect where it's just ingrown hairs that are just inflamed to the point where they even have cysts, which is cysts is just a bunch of what pimples are made up. And instead of me popping them or even trying to just pull the hair out, the safest thing is get steroid injections so the swelling can come down and then the hair can actually be going out the correct way out of the skin. And it really made me really sensitive because I get to see all my friends and acquaintances with nice haircuts, but my face was messed up and my hair was just not in good array. So luckily I found a good barber that's been able to compensate and my hair has been doing a lot better the past year. But guys, like I said about my parents, I keep working on it. Don't give up. Another thing was my voice. Before this year, my voice used to be very squeaky, and I used to get compared to Steve Urkel or any prototypical nerdy black character due to my vocal range. And a lot of people, and also another thing that coincides with my appearance is that since I look biracial, and the voice just goes hand in hand with how I sound compared to other Caucasian people, people would think that I was talking white, and it was very frustrating. Another thing that is really annoying is the tonality of my voice is really monotonous. So when I'm adjusting people, even there's one coworker I worked with one time. They said that they said verbatim, "Do you always sound this nerdy?" And I asked her to clarify that, and she said, "What do you mean by that?" And she said, "You talk as you talk with such a big vocabulary, and it when I was growing up, I tried to combat that with talking more as someone that was of hip hop culture because by the time I was 7, because 8, 9 years old, U2 came out. So after 7, I started really going into hip hop because I used to grow up listening to a lot of Cameroonian music. My ethnic background. Makossa is the main music that we listen to. And instead of listening to 80s music of Cameroon, Makossa or traditional dancing that goes along with it, I decided let me just go to hip hop so I don't have that weird cultural. Because I know at a young age, like I definitely didn't act like everybody else, especially the people that I was considered to look like. So I took it upon myself to actually ingratiate myself in the genre of people of my color in this country, and phew, it helped me quite a bit because if I didn't do that, man, I'll be kind of messed up. I can't front. And let me see. Another part of myself that I'm examining is my intelligence. I have an above average IQ. So there's about 6 different levels, guys. There's mentally retarded. There's there's just I think it's below average, average, above average, smart, and intelligent, and then genius. I hate the fact that I'm below smart, so I'm above average of IQ 120 because I did multiple IQ tests just to see if that was valid, and it was. And I've in college and high school, you name it, I've done organic chemistry, did advanced calculus. I've did those classes very well. Teachers have told me I'm a great student, but I usually get B's, B pluses. And funny thing is, one of my professors in probability told me, he's like, yeah, that was me. Me as in him. He's telling the story that he was a B plus student, but the geniuses, they weren't smart, they're geniuses who get A's, and it's just what it is. And it always just made me think that the people that say I'm smart, they they don't realize just a different level of intelligence that is. And I also think that the saying, "Oh, smart people learn from their own mistakes." Yeah, they do, and hopefully that's me. Hopefully that I don't just rely on the IQ test to tell me on my own intelligence. But man, there's a lot of times since middle school I just don't take advantage of my own intuition and analysis like I should, and that's true with my gut feeling. I intuition, gut feeling, I think are synonymous with each other. I don't really take advantage of it. I think The Rock said The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. He mentioned that it's better to go your gut than anything else, and I think I don't trust it enough, and I don't know why. Another part of my intelligence that I hate is that my abstract reasoning is what I'm worse at. Abstract reasoning is being able to put things together without having a good knowledge base on it. And I really rely on my recall and my ability to correlate things for problem solving situations, and you can't always do that. The great men that have built stuff, they've had to just think of it. And if you're always trying to figure out how to do something from a previous event instead of being, this is a part of being creative that I'm bad at because I'm always taking inspiration from something else versus getting it from like coming up with it on the fly. And that's something I want to do better at because one of the worst things I'm at is at cars. As a man, I'm very good at hard labor. So that's something that we're getting into my usefulness. That's another part of my theory that while my for example, when my parents would ship stuff back home to Cameroon, I'm very good at helping them put so many products in a 30 by 40 by 30 container and ship it back home. I've done that so many times with them. Cars is like the one thing I just never made able to master as a young man. I can change a tire. I can. you know, put oil, do the simple stuff. But for me, I like to go as far as I can in something when it comes to the ability that I have to do it. Such as for basketball, if I can max out and play at a college D2 level, that's good. A lot of people can't say that. Well, I never did, but I want to be able to be at the ability where, oh, someone can be like, oh, you could have been that. That's good. And I have friends that can show me with cars, but I'm taking a long pause is that I've done good at other stuff, but I don't really think that is valued as much because whenever I try to be a leader of an assignment, whether it's school, sports, or just doing stuff with my guy friends where we got like do important tasks, like take things to the dump and do various activities that requires hard labor. Usually I'll pull through, but when I don't, sometimes it just feels that, oh, when I fail, the past moments where I say the dare forgotten, and that particular incident where I don't pull through is just isolated. And yes, as human beings, as young as we are, we tend to only remember the negative, not only usually, but it does get annoying when people don't understand the nuance of that. Another another thing I want to examine is my emotions. I'm really apathetic at times, and I know I did a podcast. I know I did a podcast stating, "Oh, why people so unempathetic?" But even though I people tell me I'm empathetic, I detach myself a lot of times from what people are telling me because, to be honest with you, it just doesn't matter. When people are just, when I'm talking about people, I'm talking about acquaintances that I know, hell, even friends, sometimes family, and just people in public that I might see every once in a while. What they're complaining about compared to the things I've dealt with or people I know that I've dealt with. In the grand scheme of things, it's so minute. Why are you just crying about it? And one of my good friends has even asked me, he genuinely asked me, I think you might have Asperger's. And that really was a startling revelation to me. Because I'm not one of those people that think, oh, everybody has a problem. But hey, maybe that makes sense why I'm just so just detached. Because I even had a friend that not a friend, someone that I just go to school with that told me that, oh, you came off as really unbothered growing up, and that might be something as to that might be a reason why. And I really get mad or upset, but when I do become really irate, it alarms everybody because I get so mad because I'm used to bottling things up that I just implode, and I don't know how to show the people I love or like that I do like being around them and I care about them because I naturally have a very expressionless face. I don't really use gesticulations much, and I'm not very vocal unless it's things that I have to be vocal about. And it does suck to say that, but hey, it's just it's just what it is. I don't mean to be that way, but God kind of made me that way. That's how I look at it a lot of times. And that part of my emotions, I do need to work on. And I've had put in my notes, my Google Notes, where hey, try not to be so expressionless. Am I even saying the word right? Expressionless. Yes, that's the way you use the word. You say it, Raymond. And because I talked to a few female friends where they hate being told, "Oh, smile," but yet these same female friends tell me to smile. So it's just Like, damn, they're telling me to smile, even though they hate when other people tell them to smile. Maybe it's me. And I do admit, I do have a resting bitch face, so that does suck. Yeah, I just read the voicemails on stereo. Thank you guys. How you doing? And by the way, no, I'm not a Leo. I'm 26 years old and I'm a Gemini, by the way, guys. And let's see, another category I included was my relationship failures. At 26, I don't want to be too personal, but dating sucks for me. I The last time I tried to date somebody, I was ghosted badly. It's not depressing, but it's annoying telling family and friends about it since it gets so repetitive to talk about it, and I don't like going back to the situations repeatedly. It's good to learn from it and go back to it once in a while for your own mental state, just to make sure, hey, I was able to get over this obstacle, or how do you get from a situation you're currently in and look back at something as a reference point. But people just asking you about it, it is so goofy, in my opinion. It's very, very goofy. With friendships, there's a lot of circumstances in my life. I lost connections to people that I'm still mutually acquainted with. And it's so sad because after high school, I used to see a lot of people I was really cool with from elementary school, middle school, and high school. And I wasn't allowed to have Facebook and Twitter and all that. And one of my good friends, his name is D, and he was right. Like, my parents probably should let me have social media probably around 14, because there's friends of mine like Angel, Wesley, Perez, all those guys where we've had so many great memories because we were all in different groups. Like, I like to play basketball. One liked to play soccer. One was a football player. All of this, but that's the great thing about life. We all would hang out with each other after school. About 3, 4 summers, we'd always hang out with each other. And now it's like one of my good friends I still talk to. He he keeps in contact with damn near everybody, but and he still has. I think he still has pictures of those moments. But man, like when he tells me that one of our good friends' grandma and his mom still remembers me, it's sad to say I don't remember them at all. And I have a really good memory, but I'm one of those people that if I don't, if it's so long ago, and it wasn't that distinct, it just fades away. And it's very sad because I come off very cold. I remember I saw one of my aunties a few months ago, and she remembers me as a baby, but I'm 26, let me see. So I started seeing her when she came to America when I was 14. By the time I was 17, I was working a lot and before I went to college. And then by the time I hit 19, 20, I hardly saw her really anymore. So she remembers me a lot, but I don't really know her. It's just sad because I might not really like her, but and she's still a part of my extended family. And sometimes he's a bad person, just personality wise, and we don't really match too much. And that goes to the third section of this category, my relationship failures. Family. Really, since I turned 17, I don't really talk too much with my same family. Most of my main family, they're damn near dead. So it's sad because both my mom and dad came from a family of 8, and half their siblings are gone. I don't have any grandparents. Um, you know, I just don't really have that much of a connection. It's just what it is. And the ones that are around, I hardly ever talk to them. And the second to last category is my social skills. A lot of people think, especially in high school and college, really in college the most, where I was cool with people in the basketball team, I was cool with people in the math program, cool with a lot of different people. But that was in a one-on-one setting because one of my friends at that time, they weren't friends anymore. We don't see each other, so I'm classified as a friend. We don't text. She said I'm very personable, but in a club or a bar, I just can't be in those settings for too long. Even at a party of 10 people, I start getting headaches and I just start getting quiet. I learned how to code switch, and it's still sometimes a work in progress because I revert back to the Raymond that doesn't really want to be in social settings. But I realized that hurt my networking in sports, it's hurt my networking in times in school, and understanding what people want from me socially because I can just, unfortunately, just be an idiot and just not really know when to jump in a conversation sometimes. And we all do that, but as someone that's introverted, and I learned that by myself, thankfully, because my dad, he told me, because I never knew that. I thought it was just a buzzword for years, so he actually told me and broke it down to me. I just really didn't know that, hey, that for me, it probably comes off worse when I try to force it. The last category is my accomplishments. Yeah, I've done a lot. Like, if you read my Medium blog, I post my certificates in school. I didn't post any from sports because I was too lazy to upload them from when I was younger. Jobs, and I even lost honestly a lot of them because my sister kind of destroyed a lot of my family stuff, unfortunately. But I've done quite a bit in my life, but it doesn't feel enough. And what I can conclude from this whole podcast is that what I said and put into my articles previously, that this is not the only article where I've written and I talk on this podcast that I wrote about how flawed I am as a person, but this one is to show people how to improve. And that's why I'm also talking about on here, talking about my blog, because I want to just give it, I want to distribute my point of view, not just on writing platforms, but on podcasting platforms too. So people can see, oh, if this person's so honest about themselves, why can't I be? I've been doing this for the past few years on Medium, writing about myself in a unsavory manner in order to be the best Arabian. And it's really not easy. But if you don't do that, how else are you going to be better? I'm not saying to be heartless and be not emotional, but I do think that being stoic, especially as a man, is really good because you got to be able to not show people your feelings because they will try to take advantage of it. But when you're by yourself, you gotta know with that, be able to rationalize within yourself. Okay, how do I actually interact or do these tasks when I'm around others in the environment? Because we all wear masks. Depends on how big that mask is. See, you get what I'm saying? And as someone that holds a lot of what I say to myself, I analyze that due to me not vocalizing what I think, the people in my life over exaggerate how many times I do or say things and try to teach or tell me what to do from an answer after some time. So, by being honest as I get older, I alleviate the burden I'm putting on myself and be a great accessory to society instead of one that hates himself in life. It's not easy to do that, but I'm improving. I just turned 26 not too long ago, so I haven't even hit my peak yet. And me saying that part is it's my fault for allowing it to happen. I don't speak up when I should. That's probably my biggest flaw. Letting people determine what they think and know about me instead of showing and telling them. Telling and showing them. I mean, that is my biggest fault. And another thing I do want to conclude on is you're probably wondering why don't you talk to your friends and family in such great detail about this? Is because I care about hearing them out than they are to me. Than they how do I rephrase this better? It's because I care about hearing them out than they care about hearing what I have to say. It's just true. Like while I offer solutions that benefits them, versus how it works for other people. They ignore my moments of mental fragility, and that's why I say, especially in the man, it's better to be stoic because you never want to leave yourself emotionally hanging. And also, that's a side note. Find someone or a few people that you can really really trust that will never betray that in order to make sure that you're mentally okay when you have moments such as this where you're self-evaluating yourself because it is not easy. So I just wanted to take this moment to say thank you to everybody that was listening, and I hope you did enjoy this. Okay, so I hope everybody has a good night. All right, peace out.